What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. But before we get on to the topic for today, I would love it if you did a few things. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, and bell icon so you get notifications for whenever I come out with new content on this channel. And then when you are finished watching this video, I love it if you left me a comment below. That way I can get back to whatever it is that you had to say about this topic. For today's topic, I want to do a video request. Somebody asked me to talk about the fatjoe situation. Specifically, fatjoe recently had some disrespectful comments to say about foundational Black Americans. So let's get into it. Oh, fatjoe, fat ass Joe. Let's talk about it. You have the nerve to open your mouth and disrespect not only foundational Black Americans, but foundational Black American culture. And it's not like you're just doing it now for the first time ever. You've been disrespecting us since we knew who the fuck you were. But in order for me to stay on topic, let me talk about what this fool said recently in an interview that he did. So there are a few comments that he made that I want to kind of talk about individually, and I want to break them apart and address them and whatnot and really go in deep about some of the things that he said. He claimed that a lot of the people that have been lying about what happened in hip hop and whatnot are these Black racists. And he also had a lot of criticism for foundational Black Americans, even referring to us as the foundational Black authority. So now he's just taking random words and just mashing them together and just saying whatever comes out of his mouth. So let's start with the Black racist comment. I've said this many times. Black people cannot be racist. Hell, if we were truly racist like fatjoe is saying, then we would have a system that we control. We can't even control hip hop. And the reason why is because so many of these white record producers are having different Black artists underneath their label, so they control that. And then tethers like him will come in and appropriate and eat off of our culture and then disrespect the shit out of us. So what do we have to control to really be racist? And how can we even really oppress you like that? That's the problem. So you can't sit there and just lie. That's why people are calling y'all's asses Latinos and not Latinos, because look at your ass here is lying and shit. But white Latinos can be racist, fatjoe. And you sure as hell are a white Latino, despite all of the times where you try to infer or directly say that Latinos were Black or that you were Black, or to try to make it seem like you were Black. And let me tell you why. The main reason why I believe you are a racist. You have been making a career out of making songs where you are just saying the word nigga over and over and over again. Now, somebody could go back and they could say, oh, well, Black people allowed it. And I would say, well, we do have a nature that suggests that we are very open with people and accepting of people. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that you yourself are racist for even using it in the first place. Hell, as much as fatjoe has said the word nigga, he's lucky that somebody ain't slapped the empanadas out of his ass. Shit. You have like this weird, narrative and this vitriol really against Black people. And you're trying to cover it up by talking about how we're lying about hip hop, or a lot of our people are lying about hip hop. And we're not lying about hip hop. We started hip hop. We were the creators of it. We were the individuals who were the foundation of how hip hop was built, no matter how many ways you try to swing it. It wasn't the Puerto Ricans. It wasn't any other Hispanic. It wasn't the Caribbeans. It wasn't the Africans. It was foundational Black Americans, no matter what way you would like to swing it. But the bottom line is, fatjoe, you have a vitriol for Black society because you are always creating these narratives where you are a main character and your adversaries are us. You would tell stories even in the past about how you would battle rap when you were in the Bronx, and how there were all these Black people who were there and you were just going balls out and proving yourself, and everybody was earning your respect. It was almost as if you were trying to do some type of Timu 8 Mile shit, but with tacos on top, of course. You have that shit going on. You have this kind of vendetta against Black people. Like, as if we should just accept you into our culture and to not keep you away from what we're doing. Because what you're literally trying to do is get into our culture, appropriate it, make money off of it, and also disrespect us in return. And anytime that we push back, when you get to lying and bullshitting and hoeing, then you want to sit there and you want to get upset and you want to sit there and target us. But you have literally made a career out of making songs where you have been saying nigga, nigga, nigga. I mean, look at fatjoe, y'all. Look at some of his pictures of when he was younger. I mean, this dude has green eyes and the dude has straight hair. I mean, come on now. And let me be real with you all for a minute. There are people out there who are regarding fatjoe as a hip hop cultural icon. But if my memory serves me correctly, I don't remember the last fatjoe song that was popular, super poppin', everybody loved it, everybody was all over it since Lean Back. And as a matter of fact, let me just be real here. Let me be even more real. What songs have you done, even including Lean Back and other songs like Make It Rain and shit like that, or songs where you were on there with another foundational Black American like, you know, Ja Rule or Ashanti or whoever? What is the last song that you did by yourself? What is the last song that you did by yourself where we can hold you in high regard for your excellent rapping caliber? Because let me tell you something. If I were to pick my top 20 rappers right now, fatjoe would not be a part of that. fatjoe is not all that like that. fatjoe is an individual who is washed up and is now trying to create relevancy now that he's releasing a new album. And in the process, he is trying to disrespect us because there's a vendetta there. So he's using hip hop and him creating this new album as a means to talk shit about us and also lie on us and the things that we have done. He's also lied about a lot of other stuff, such as the lineage of some of these other pioneers. Like he lied about Disco King Mario and whatnot. He also had a lot of scurvy shit to say about, you know, Lord Jamar. He was talking about how he was the wackest dude on Brand Nubian, which that's some bullshit as well too. And that's also disrespectful. And he's mad because really Lord Jamar had called him out on mic check. So that's really the issue there is that you have Black Americans who are now not accepting, you know, these Latinos who are going and they're saying that they created hip hop and they didn't, or Caribbeans saying that they created hip hop. They're not accepting that. So they're mad and they're angry. So they're attacking a lot of us who have been outspoken about that. And the funny thing is that Lord Jamar, I believe, is what I would call a halvesy, right? Lord Jamar is partially foundational Black American. And I thought his other side was, it was either Puerto Rican or Cuban. It was something like that. But the point is that with him having a lineage that suggests that he is partially Afro-Latino himself, he could just go on that same train and say everything that fatjoe is saying. But he isn't. He's speaking from the perspective of truth. And I want to go back to this whole thing about fatjoe saying that, you know, he was Black and now he's disrespecting Black Americans and whatnot. fatjoe, you are as white as they come, again, with enchiladas on top. Your ass is as white as a ghost. Matter of fact, when I look at you, bro, you look like Boo from Mario, except the Latino version. fatjoe also likes to talk about how, like, he was there. So how you going to tell him about not knowing about the inception of how all of this was created and whatnot? That don't have shit to do with anything. You being in an area does not confirm your expertise on something such as hip hop. So that's ridiculous that he would make that assumption that you would have to be from New York in order to understand where hip hop started and where it originated. I mean, literally, if you look back, hip hop goes all the way back to literally like the 60s. When you think about people like Pig Meat Markham, you know, he was doing hip hop / rap-esque type of music. So there was like a lot of the starting of hip hop was going on around that time period, actually, because a lot of people, when they think about hip hop, they don't consider the idea that there could have been hints of it in the 60s, but there was. So that tells you about our influence in the hip hop game and the way that we actually have created it and crafted it. So Fat Joe is saying a lot of things that he's saying because really he's upset with foundational Black Americans. It's not even like this idea that he's trying to say who created hip hop and who didn't. It's that he has a certain vitriol and he doesn't like the fact that he's now being pushed back against, because the reception that he got from the comments that he made, I don't think he really expected that he was going to get it. I don't think that he expected that he was going to get as much negative feedback on what he said as he has. So this is something that I believe is coming as a surprise to him. But at the same time, I need people to understand that Fat Joe is a big ass liar. And he is somebody who, like a lot of his his immigrant brethren, will come over here and try to take our culture, appropriate it, make money off of it, and not give shit back to us, and then try to pretend like there's some type of fake Black and brown coalition. That's what a lot of them do. Now, not all of them, because there's a lot of immigrants and non-FBAs who actually do like foundational Black Americans and do respect us. But there are so many more who are disrespectful in the way that Fat Joe is as well, too. And this dude, Fat Joe, was in the interview and he was talking to these dudes, and I believe they were Caribbean. And they were sitting there caca and kikiing and giggling like little schoolgirls with short skirts on and all this other shit. And it's like, that's why I'm looking at that and I'm like, this is the reason why we delineate and we look at who is a foundational Black American versus who is Caribbean. Because for a bunch of people who would be considered Black normally to be sitting there and giggling with this dude, they couldn't be from our lineage for them to allow that to go on and to be sitting there thinking that the shit that he was saying was funny and was cool, because it wasn't. All right, y'all. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and I'll definitely have more to come, so make sure you stay tuned. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.